So, take it away, Paul.
Okay, so everybody, this afternoon, this afternoon we got a real treat for you. Got some great training, simple success training by Mr. Jim Pitman.
Thank you, Paul. Didn't you do a great job on the opportunity meeting this morning? Let's give Paul another. Very good. So we are going to talk about the simple success system, which is how we build our SendOutCards business. And for those of you who have been to trainings like this before, maybe you've been in SendOutCards for years, I'm hoping to share some things that will help you to have a fresh perspective, a new way of looking at some concepts that are very simple, but things that can help you when you leave today, you can apply them and take your business to a higher level. For those of you who are brand new as a distributor in SendOutCards, or maybe you're here today just looking at this and wondering, is this something I want to do as a distributor? Do I just want to be a customer? Sit back and relax and just kind of soak it up. And what you're going to see from this is we do have a system that when you follow it, it will make it very easy, or very simple anyway, step by step. For those of you who want to take notes, that's fine, but I want to let you know right off the bat, this entire presentation is available online. This is the shortcut. For those of you that aren't familiar, bit.ly is a system for making long website addresses shorter. So it's just bit.ly/, and this is a code for Simple Success System Training, September 13th, 2014. You got that? So if you don't want to take a lot of notes, this is really the only thing. Some of you are taking your cameras out and shooting a picture. That's great. This is really the only link that you need to write down today. Again, bit.ly/SSST91314, and that will take you to this presentation online. You can download it, you can edit it, and you can use this presentation for your own needs in the future if you want to. Okay, no further permission is required. So just wanted to take care of that right up front. And I want to talk about simple versus easy. I slipped up a little bit there a minute ago, and I said this can be easy. Well, let's talk about that. What's the difference between simple and easy? And by the way, I'm probably going to ask a lot of rhetorical questions today. You don't have to answer. At the end, we're actually going to have some time for questions and answers. So if you do have a question as we go through this presentation, please just jot down a note, and then we'll do all the questions at the end of the training after Krista does her training today. So one of the ways to really get into the meaning of words is to look at their opposite. So what's the opposite of simple? Actually, no. The opposite of simple is complex. Okay, the opposite of easy is hard or difficult. And are complex and difficult necessarily the same? No. So if the opposite of these words aren't the same, then these words aren't the same either. Okay, just kind of a chain of logic there. Simple is the opposite of complex. Easy is the opposite of difficult. What we have in SendOutCards is a very simple success system. It's not called the easy success system. Okay, it does take effort, it does take hard work, but it's not complicated. And I was trying to think of an analogy that I could use to kind of wrap all of today's training into. And I decided that we're going to compare this to building a house. Now, by a show of hands, has anyone here ever built a house? A couple people been involved? I've actually had a great opportunity. When I was a teenager, I grew up in Phoenix, and my parents got 10 acres of land up in northern Arizona. Old house on the property, and they bought it when I was about 12. First couple years, we just kind of cleaned the place up. But from the time I was 14 to 17, my dad and I would go up there mostly on weekends, and we renovated the old house. We sunk a basement and built what was eventually a 3-story house over a period of about 4 years. And my dad, who's a physics professor by trade, is amazing when it comes to this kind of stuff. We did probably 85-90% of the work, just my dad and I, over 4 years. So could I build my own house today? Probably not, but I've seen the process from start to finish. And for those of you that have never built your own house, that's okay. That's not a requirement for understanding today's analogy. Hopefully you've all watched TV. Hopefully you've got an imagination. And I just want you to imagine building your dream house. So think about where that might be. For some of you, maybe it's on the beach. For some of you, maybe it's in the forest somewhere. Maybe it's out in the plains of the Midwest somewhere. Whatever your idea of a dream house and a dream location is, I want you to think of that. Okay, maybe it's a little cottage that is very simple and you can clean the whole place in less than an hour. Maybe it's a huge mansion and you hire a team of people to clean it for you every day. I mean, whatever your particular dream house is, we're going to kind of use that as the analogy and make some comparisons. So, let's make it really simple. Question: how do you build a house? Step 1, decide where you want to build, acquire the land. Step 2, buy the plans and materials. Step 3, put it all together. True or false? That's how to build a house. Class dismissed. Okay? Well, this isn't the how to build a house class. This is how to build your SendOutCards business. But you see how simple that is? Now, whether you built a house or not, just think, oh, there's got to be more to it than that. Well, of course there's more to it than that. Okay, there's a lot more to it than those 3 simple steps. But I want to start kind of zoomed out here of what is it that we do in SendOutCards. And you've heard or seen some different variations on this, but I want to start real simple and say what we do in SendOutCards is 2 things. We send cards and gifts, and we help others send cards and gifts. True?
Yeah. True.
Very simple. And if you ever feel yourself getting overwhelmed because the corporate office has released a new set of videos, or we've got a new product, or we've got a new way of sharing SendOutCards, and it starts to feel complex, I encourage you to come back to this simple truth. We send cards and gifts, we help other people send cards and gifts. The next question is, how do we build the business? That's 3 bullet points. You guys have heard this from Jordan many times. I might have reworded it just a little bit. But number 1, we use the service. We call that being a product of the product. We are the ones sending cards and gifts to people we care about. Not to promote SendOutCards, not to say, ooh, look at this beautiful card, but just to say, I love you, I appreciate you, happy birthday, happy holidays, whatever it might be. Number 2 is go for the pool each month. We're talking about the manager bonus pool. We're going to talk about that more a little bit in a few minutes. You heard it in Paul's opportunity presentation. But to even just go for it, even if you don't hit it every month, just to have that as your goal and your focus. And then number 3 is to help others do the same thing. That is how we build a SendOutCards business. Is that simple? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, just like building a house, there's a lot more details to it, and we're going to get into some of those details today. But before the toolbox, I actually want to go back so we can see the house. Let's talk about this metaphor a little bit more, this analogy of building a house. And it's not a perfect analogy. There's limits to every comparison, especially because your SendOutCards business is really a living organism. I mean, it's filled with team members and customers who are real living people, whereas a house is an object. A house is something that just kind of sits there after you build it. So it's not perfect, but there are some things here that I think are great. First of all, Cody's book, MLM Blueprint. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. But he talks about the mindset that you need to have to build a successful SendOutCards business or any network marketing business, multi-level marketing. And he makes some comparisons to blueprints and before you build a building. That's the other reason I like this picture showing the blueprints and the plans. Well, with SendOutCards, when someone signs up as a distributor and they pay the $395, that's the comparison is they're buying the land. Okay, they've got their land. There's nothing there yet. It's just the opportunity to build their dream home. Okay? They also buy the plans. Okay, not the mental blueprint that Cody talks about in that book. That's something that we develop in our own minds. But the plans, the system to put it all together, the instructions, if you will, that's what someone buys for $395. Could you imagine if someone told you you could buy as much land as you wanted and the plans, the instructions to build your dream home for $395? Sounds like a pretty good deal, doesn't it? So that's what we have with SendOutCards, with the opportunity, is we have the land. That's what Cody has developed, and he gives it to us at an amazingly low price. From there, it's up to us whether we build a house or not. Are there people who sign up as a distributor, they have this beautiful plot of land, and maybe they even walk out there with a shovel and they stick it in the ground, and then they say, "Where's my house?" Well, what is the house that we're talking about? Again, talking about a dream home, it could be little, it could be big. In business, a lot of people talk about planning for retirement. Personally, I don't like to use that term, okay? If you want to use it, that's fine, but I think it's important to look at the meaning. I'm a Boy Scout, an Eagle Scout, and we used to do the flag ceremony. We talk about retiring a flag. What does that mean? It means it's done working. When you retire a flag, it's taken down and it's done. Okay? I don't know about you, but I'm here on this planet with a purpose. I have a mission to fulfill, and I'm going to keep living that purpose until I take my very last breath. That's when I will be done living my purpose here on earth. And yes, as I go through life, there will be different chapters, there will be different seasons of life, and that's all part of the overall purpose of my life. But I never plan to retire. That just seems like an ugly word. Why would anyone stop living before they stop breathing? And so what I prefer to call it is Freedom Day. Freedom Day, and we're talking financially here, Freedom Day is when your passive residual monthly income exceeds your monthly expenses. Whether that's $5,000 a month or $500,000 a month, whatever size of a lifestyle you choose to live when it comes to temporal things, once your passive residual income exceeds your monthly expenses, you're free. That's Freedom Day. What that means is, when I get to Freedom Day and I get up and go to do whatever I want to do for work and making money, it's not because I have to, it's because I choose to. And that is the definition, one definition of freedom. To work my SendOutCards business or whatever else I decide to do in life because I want to, not because I have to. So I would recommend that to you as the analogy for today, that the house, the dream house that we're building here, as we go through the details and what it takes, is Freedom Day. Okay, let's build our SendOutCards business to the point that our monthly residual exceeds our expenses. And you may hit Freedom Day several times. You might start at, okay, I get to $5,000 a month residual, I'm good, but you know what? Now let's go buy a bigger house. Let's buy some nicer cars. Let's do some more traveling. And now, all of a sudden, you're having to count on what you do every day to make money, and then you get your residual back up and hit Freedom Day again. But now you have a bigger lifestyle. And that's the neat thing with SendOutCards, is we can build that lifestyle to the size that we want. Okay, so sorry I had to go backwards there a little bit, but I didn't have the house in there again. I'll probably fix that by the time you guys pull this up online. All right, if someone's going to build a house, do they need tools? Yes. So we're going to talk about our toolbox and some of the tools that SendOutCards has given us for our toolbox. Now, if you were teaching me how to build a house, we already said it can be broken down into 3 easy steps. But what about all the tools I'm going to need? I mean, you could probably walk into Home Depot or Lowe's and say, okay, everything in here could be used to build your dream house. That's a little overwhelming, isn't it? And the neat thing, one of the many neat things about our SendOutCards business is you don't have to build it alone. We all have mentors. We have everyone in this room. We have everyone at the corporate office and customer service. We have our upline leadership. And it really is more of a mentorship, which is another reason I like the analogy of comparing it to building a home. If I was going to learn how to build a home, I would do it next to my dad or someone else who knows how to build, and I'm going to learn by doing. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed if we go through these tools. You're like, oh my gosh, I haven't had time to watch that video, or I haven't had time to look at this, right? They're just tools in the toolbox, okay? Just like, if you go to Home Depot to buy a wrench, you don't get overwhelmed by everything in there. You just focus on, I'm going to get a wrench, okay? I know how to use the wrench, I'm good. All this other stuff is fine. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow and look at the other stuff. Make sense? Okay, so keep it simple. First thing in our toolbox is our personal SendOutCards marketing website. I don't know what the official name is for it. I usually call it the marketing site. But it's sendoutcards.com/your ID number. That's your number that you were assigned when you became a SendOutCards distributor. And this is just a part of a screenshot. This is where you can take people to learn about SendOutCards. And I recommend, for a new person especially, this would be kind of like saying, you know what? I'm going to build my own dream house. I just started, and I'm really excited to build my house. You can build your own dream house too. I don't know how to tell you how to do it, But if you go down to Home Depot, they got these classes every weekend, and they'll teach you how to build your own house. Or there's these videos on YouTube where you can go learn the steps to build your own house. And I'm just kind of pointing you in the right direction. That's what this website's for. So it's really good for brand new distributors to be able to say, I really don't know what's going on, but hey, let's go through these steps together. We're going to talk more about those steps when we get to the Fast Start Guide. But I got an advanced tip for you. Even when you're not new, this is still the way to do it. Because you got to remember, we're not just in the business of teaching someone else to build their dream home. We're in the business of helping them find other people that they can encourage to build their dream home. So right from the very beginning, we want to show this is so simple that you can do it too. So even though I could explain everything word for word that's in these videos, that's on this webpage, I'm still bringing new people here, and I just click play. And I ask them what they like best about it. And we'll go into more details. But keep it simple so that when they see you present it, they're saying, wow, I could do that. In fact, I could do better than he did it. And that's the kind of feeling that you want them to have. So that's the first tool in the toolbox. Another great one is there's an actual web page for this if you haven't been there. Again, all these links, this whole presentation is available online. But it's the SendOutCards.com/simple success. And you'll find an intro video there is the same as the Simple Success video, the 7-minute one with Steve. But down under that, there's some other links, some other resources. And if you haven't taken the time to look at that yet, I'd recommend you check out that page. One of the newer things, and I haven't seen this promoted much, but at the bottom of that page, there's actually 4 videos. I think these have been out maybe a month and a half. And depending how much time Christy needs for her training today, I think total is less than 20 minutes. Maybe at the end we'll have time to watch these together. If not, it's right there on that page. You can go home and watch them. But this is excellent training for a brand new distributor to go through how to get started and how to share send-out cards. All right, the next tool in our toolbox is the Fast Start Guide. This was updated a couple months ago. If you don't have the new one, I've got good news for you. You can get them online in the gift store. You can send them with a card. And that's the one you see up there. It's $2. It comes out of your expense money. And you just send someone a nice to meet you or thank you for looking at send-out cards or welcome to the team, whatever. Obviously, new distributors should have this. It's all about building the business, and we're going to go through it page by page over the next few minutes. But I wanted to emphasize right off the bat that this is also a great prospecting tool. If you're in the process of talking to someone or showing them send-out cards, and they like the system, they definitely want to be a customer, they're thinking about being a distributor, send them a thank you card for taking a look and include one of these and maybe say something like, thanks for taking a look at send-out cards on Saturday. I included our Fast Start Guide just to give you one small example of the kind of resources the company gives us. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but that's the idea. Is just use it as a prospecting tool to say, look at these professional step-by-step tools, so that when you're ready to be a distributor, these are the kinds of things that I'm going to help you with, and they can get it right there with their card in the mail. If you buy in bulk, the price goes down to like 55 cents or 60 cents each. Very low cost for this high quality. Of course, shipping will change depending on the quantity. I did have some. Where did we put that box? So I think I counted 37 in this box. I'm going to pass these around. These are ones that I bought with my own money. I'm willing to sell these to you for $1. Okay? If you got cash, I have an envelope here. I'm just going to pass this around. If you could reverently, quietly do this. I seeded the envelope with $7. So if you need to make change. But with this group, if you want to take 2, that's okay. But don't buy more than 2. So $1 each, or pass the box. Okay? So yeah, just pass it around for me. Thank you.
Hopefully you have at least $7 when it comes back.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least $7 and 37. Yeah. So we're among friends here. I trust you. Okay, so let's go through it. They set it up with a really neat tab design where the pages start narrow and then get wider. So you'll see that up here on the screen. Right on the first page, it talks about getting plugged in. And This is the SendOutCards update, which is the email that we get. You can sign up for that if you haven't yet, right on the SendOutCards website. And by the way, I'm just going to run through this with you real quick, like I would with a new team member. So you're my new team member. I'm helping you get set up. Hopefully we're face-to-face. If location doesn't allow that, maybe over the phone. Maybe I already sent this to you in the mail. At the very least, you're going to be maybe sharing my screen through something like Join Me or Skype, where you can see my screen. I've got this up on the computer. Or even easier, it's in your download section. So if you go under the Help menu when you're logged into your SendOutCards account and go down to Downloads and just look for Fast Start Guide, you can pull up the PDF. Right there, you can save it to your own computer, whatever. So I just got screenshots up here behind me. So we're going to go through it, again, just like you were my new distributor. So you want to get plugged in. Both the email that comes, there's a Facebook group. It is a private group, so it's only for distributors. So after they're signed up as a distributor, as long as you're friends on Facebook, you can go help them get in that group. If you don't know how to do that, talk to your upline or go to the SendOutCards group and ask. Someone will help you. And then we have the weekly leadership calls. So that's the get plugged in part. Whoop, that was the wrong button. Let's go the other way. All right, on the opposite side of that page, it has kind of a checklist of here's what we want to do to get started. Make sure you're on a subscription to get the lowest price. Make the commitment to send a card a day and a gift a week. And to do a splash pack of 10 accounts per month. We're going to talk more about that. And to teach others to do the same. So hopefully you've had this discussion before they paid the $3.95. This is part of managing expectations. What does it take to be successful? If someone's not willing to check all four of those little circles there, I don't want them to be a distributor. Okay? They should just be a glorified customer and send me referrals when they want to share this with people. But if they want to build a business, they should be happy to make all of those commitments. And then they have a place here where you can talk about where they can write down their why. And those of you who've been to a Treat 'em Right seminar, you know that that's a great opportunity to really get in touch with our I am statements and our goals and why we're doing the business, and you can really get deep and get down to some profound things. That's not what I recommend on this page. Okay? I recommend doing something related to dollar amounts that are meaningful and measurable. Something as simple as, do you have a credit card that's just been hanging around too long? Maybe it's a store charge card. Maybe it's just $800 on some silly store. That mattress we bought 3 years ago, or whatever. Okay, what's something in the $1,000 or less range that you would love? If I handed you $1,000, what would you do right now? Oh, I'd love to get rid of that store charge card, or I'd love to. My daughter's going to college next semester. She needs a new laptop. I wasn't sure where the money's going to come from for that computer. I'd love to get my daughter a really nice laptop for college. Come up with something that's specific, $1,000 or less, and it's meaningful, where they can just write it down and say, I'm excited to, and do three things. I'm going to pay off that credit card, I'm going to buy my daughter a laptop, and I'm going to finally take my spouse on a vacation we've been talking about for too long. Okay? Meaningful things. Okay? You'll get into the deeper stuff, they'll get into the deeper stuff when they go to a Treat 'em Right seminar. Okay, the next page gets into the actual simple success system. Step one is enroll with an MD package. And Paul talked about that in his training, so I'm not going to go into much on that. And then down at the bottom of that page, it gets into making your prospect list. And I like how they do these little check boxes. Remember, we don't prejudge. We do sort. Okay? Prejudging is where I decide, I think so-and-so is going to love SendOutCards, and I think this person's going to hate it. That's prejudging. Don't do that. One, you really don't know what other people want. And two, you don't know who they know. So never prejudge. But it is okay to prioritize. And prioritizing is, who do I think I have a good relationship of respect with? The next one is income. And the next one after that is who can afford it. Who do I think has $395 they could do this right away? And this is just to prioritize to help your new person have success right away. Okay? If there's someone that, all you've been talking about all week is how they can't pay their rent, probably not going to be at the top of the list. Okay? So that's, again, I'm just going to go through this real quick. And this is about the speed I go when I'm training a new person. On the other side of that page, they have a place for them to write down several names and to check those boxes. Anyone with 3 check boxes is who we're going to contact first. Okay? Did everyone who wanted a fast start guide get at least one? Okay? Go ahead and leave the box here on this table. If anyone wants more, same price. I already kept the ones I needed, so those are for sale. All right, the next page is step 2, promote to manager. Again, Paul talked about it in the training this morning. It's all here step by step. And the first one is the customer requirement. There's a few ways to do that. I really don't go into much detail on this with a new person. If they just signed up, they probably already have their 2 splash packs activated, because I usually do that on the same phone call where they sign up. But it's so simple now. As soon as that new distributor signs up, they have 10 of these preferred customer splash pack accounts to give away. All we got to do is activate 2. And they should know, I mean, it's like my mom and my sister. You know, what's their email, what's their address, what's their phone number? Let's set them up. Oh, by the way, give them a call and let them know you just gave them a gift, and set a time, we'll explain what it is. I mean, it's so simple now to set it up. That should be done. Technically, they have 7 days to do it and earn the $50 fast start bonus. I highly recommend you do it in the first 7 minutes. I mean, why put it off? Why risk them going out of town for the next 6 days? You know, waiting till the last minute. You're like, no, just get it done. Activate 2. You're giving it as a gift. You don't need the person's permission. You just need their email, their phone number, and then get on the phone and schedule a time to explain why they just got a welcome email to SendOutCards. The next step, and so I'll tell them, like, text your sister right now, say, I'm giving you a gift. You're going to get an email from SendOutCards. I think you're really going to like it. I'll be in touch soon. I mean, just something to give them a heads up so they don't think it's junk mail. And that's about all you got to do on that. Sponsor 3 marketing distributors. And the best way to do that is give away the splash packs. If you want to sell them, that's fine. But help people send their first card. Out of those first 10, when people watch the videos on the marketing site and they send a card to someone they care about, there's a really good chance, no guarantees, but there's a really good chance that 3 out of those first 10 are going to sign up as a marketing distributor sometime in the next few weeks. Okay? It depends on, let's go back to the house analogy for a second. Is it easy to build a house? Is it difficult to build a house? Well, the answer is it depends. If I'm a general contractor and I've been building houses for 20 years, and I've got a warehouse full of building materials, and I've got a team of architects that already have blueprints, and I have land that's just sitting there, what's that comparable to with our analogy? That's someone who's spent 20 years building relationships, someone who has trust. They've built trust with a large number of people. Kind of person that if they died tomorrow, 1,000 people would come to their funeral. Okay? That's someone who's spent a lifetime preparing. As a contractor, would I say it's easy or difficult to go build a house? I've got all those materials, I've got all that stuff already at my fingertips. I can go build a house in a weekend, right?
You forgot labor.
Labor? Okay, well, so I've got a bunch of people sitting in that warehouse also, okay? It's that I forgot labor. So if I have the resources at my fingertips, it's easy to build a dream house. Compare that to a kid right out of high school that's never picked up a hammer in his life. Is it easy or difficult to build a house? Okay? SendOutCards is the same way. I can't tell you whether this is going to be easy or difficult. It depends on what you've done up to this point in your life. If you're the kind of person that has built relationships, that has personal connections, you have the mindset to be successful, you know you can overcome challenges, it's going to be a lot easier for you to build a SendOutCards business than someone who doesn't have those things. That's okay. You just need to be realistic. I hate that word. You just need to plan differently for how quickly you're going to start making money, right? And those are the kinds of things that your mentor or upline in SendOutCards can help you figure out. So that's why we don't call this easy or difficult. We focus on the fact that the simple success system gives you the steps. Just like if that kid out of high school has never picked up a hammer, can he learn how to build a house? Of course he can. It's just going to take more effort, more energy, and more time than the person that already has all the resources. So here on the second step of sponsoring 3 marketing distributors, some people might do this in the first hour. One of our team members, she's a couple level down from us, but one of these, God things, you can't make these stories up, but she had heard about the Treat 'em Right seminar from something through work. Didn't know anything about SendOutCards, but her friend who's on our team had mentioned that Cody Bateman was coming to do a seminar in Phoenix on this certain date. She drove down from Prescott with 3 of her friends that didn't even know what they were going to. They just knew they were having a ladies' day on a Saturday, and they came down and went to a Treat 'em Right seminar with the plan that we'll stay till lunch. If we like it, it was when they did it over in Glendale. So they said we'll stay till lunch, and if we're liking what we see, we'll stay for the afternoon. If we don't, we'll go over to the place by the stadium and do some shopping. So lunchtime comes, and the friend looks down the aisle, and everyone gives a thumbs up. We're staying. Well, she signed up as a distributor, and immediately on the same phone call, they're up in Prescott Valley. We were all on a conference call. We signed up her and then 3 people under her, all in the same phone call. She signed up and got promoted to manager, all in less than 20 minutes. Okay, so was that easy or difficult? Well, she already, even though she didn't know she was building the business, she did the right things by having personal relationships with people who trust her and getting them to a Treat 'em Right seminar. I mean, anyone who goes to a seminar like that, if they, how should I say this? The right people who are ready for this, when they go to a Treat 'em Right seminar, they're going to sign up as a distributor. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. So other people might take longer. Again, depends on what you've done preparing for it. And then be Q qualified. The Q is short for being qualified, is basically have that customer requirement met on an ongoing basis. Meaning, if I signed up, if a new team member signs up the 2 splash packs in the month of September, they got $93 of personal and customer volume, they're qualified with the Q for that month. You got to do it again in October. Either activate 2 new splash packs, or the easiest thing is just get a couple people on a subscription. Either 2 people on a $9.80 subscription, because that happens every month, or